Hello and welcome to another video on my Bald Scrambler YouTube channel. My name is Daniel and today I'm delighted to be going up the rather interesting and challenging grade 3 route that is Sentries Ridge. Now this route is infamous for its shattered, friable, loose rock all the way up the ridge from the start to the top, and I was here last year and I actually really enjoyed the scramble, but it certainly was quite a challenge and I had to be very careful, checking all of the holds before I put any weight on them, before I committed to making that step onto the rock. Now Sentries Ridge is located to the right of the main buttress, and on either side of Sentries Ridge there are scree-filled gullies. On the scramble itself there are several gendarmes, which are essentially pinnacles that I can either scramble up and over or I can navigate around. There is also a delightful and somewhat intimidating catwalk with steep drops down either side. If you've ever been up the famous Cribgock route, I think you'd absolutely love this part of the scramble. There are also the usual hazards and enjoyments that you'll get on most grade 3 routes. This really is a mixed bag here. Lots of loose scree, gendarmes, we've got pinnacles, we've got a catwalk, we've got a delightful top out at the end of the route as well, where I will then make my way up to Maenad Mawr, which is a summit only 500 meters away. Now, this morning I parked my car in Rhydy train station car park, which cost £6 for parking until midnight. I paid by card. Coming out of the car park, I crossed over the road onto the public footpath. There's the valley and the mountains on either side of this delightful little footpath. I think there's also a farmhouse there. I went through a couple of gates. At the end of this path, I went onto the tarmac road and took a right. This road runs adjacent to a forest plantation, which is rather obvious to see. There's also some free car parking spaces down here. I didn't park in any of these because I had a few valuables in my car and I wanted to park in a nice public place where there were lots of people today. Heading down this road, I then went into the forestry plantation itself. It's well signposted, you can't miss it on this road. I then walked along the well-paved path through the plantation until I came out on the other side, where I was met with the rolling hills of this part of Snowdonia, and there was a path which ran parallel to or next to the forestry plantation. I followed this path upwards all the way to the very highest point of the forest plantation. You can see that here, there's a stile here that I stepped over. I then found a path which trended leftwards over one final set of stiles and onto the scree, which pretty much marks the start of the Sentries Ridge grade 3 scramble route. Well, that was the most interesting section behind me. I came down the side. So I'm just at the top of Sentries Ridge, and wow, that was an interesting scramble to say the least. So I'm just going to take the short trip over to Mayorned Mawr onto the summit, which is about 400 or 500 meters away, and then I'm going to make my way back down. Now, as you saw on this route, the rock was really friable. It was shattered and it was loose, and it was just one of those lines where I really had to be extra careful, just checking all of those holds, giving them a little bit of a tap, giving them a nudge with my toe, and anything that sounded hollow or was wobbly, I just stayed well clear of it. I was actually quite surprised at how many of the larger boulders on there were actually loose. They looked really solid, but give them a little push or a little nudge, and quite a few of them were very wobbly. So if you do come up here, you will need to pay extra care and attention and just take your time on this route. As for the rest of the scramble, I really enjoyed it. There were those gendarmes. I think I scrambled directly up two of them. The remainder, I just skirted around them. I'm quite a big guy and I wasn't quite comfortable putting my weight on a hold on the down climb on the other side. So I just skirted around them, but it was still a really good scramble. Also, there were a couple of escape routes on the right-hand side that came off of the ridge and went into the Screefield Gully. It didn't look like it would be a very pleasant escape route, but certainly doable. So if you did go up there and you really didn't like it, there was definitely a couple of points, I think 2 or 3 points on there where I could have gone into the scree bed to escape. And finally, at the top out of the ridge, you've got the lovely views looking over to Snowdon and down into the gully as well. And then I just went for a little trek up to the summit, as you can see here, spinning around in a circle. What a beautiful and perfect day I've had. Now, if you've enjoyed this rather cautious grade 3 scramble up Sentries Ridge, please do hit the like button and subscribe to my channel as well. Again, thanks for watching.